These are. And today we have someone in the studio for us to talk about what happened yesterday. And of course, we are looking at the Dino Melaye saga. What has been happening, from the inception of the case to what happened yesterday. That is all we've got to talk about today. I have Mr. Henry Lodam in the studio, of course, our regular analyst, who is always here on standby to help us analyze some critical issues, of course, ongoing in Nigeria as a nation. And of course, our Nigerian citizens, we have our liberty to express ourselves, and of course in the right way. Our opinion forms part of our right in the Constitution, of course. Now we have our numbers that is going to be rolling on the screen, so you can call and give your inputs or your questions on what you think we are talking about today. But before then, we'll go for a short break and we come back and look straight into the Dino Melaye saga. I still remain your host, Uche Uduma. Please stay with us. Welcome to National Discourse.
Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation building.
Administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in Hausa yang nakama. They are like agberu in the markets.
Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has an undertone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history.
It's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background. And today, we are here in TSTV. And that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.
All right, welcome back from that short break. And of course, it's no longer news that Senator Dino Melaye allegedly, I beg to use the word, fell off from police van that was conveying him to Kogi State. And of course, looking at the history down with Dino Melaye and Kogi State, not wanting to go to Kogi State for anything. I mean, what's up with that?
First of all, I would like to say that it's quite unfortunate that we have to come through such a political past. We have to come through such thuggery in our political development as a country at this point in time, because I'm taking this beyond the Dino Melaye issue, first of all, because the past few days have been amazing. Nothing short of amazing. Like, I can't believe what is happening in my country, Nigeria. That somebody will enter the Senate chambers and steal the mace and run away with the mace and drop it under a bridge. I can't believe that can happen in Nigeria, and it happened, right? And then the level of violence, we see from the legislative chamber is really, really appalling. For a senator like Dino Melaye, we all know that his issue is beyond just jumping out of a van around Area 1 in Abuja here. His issue started way back since when he started condemning Yaya Bello for his underperformance as the governor. And I have a feeling the two of them at loggerheads. We've seen videos of Dino Melaye singing songs against Yaya Bello and all that. And then,
is it possible we have a short history, of course, for people to have an insight? It's not everybody that knows what's happening into what the rift has been between Dino Melaye and Governor Yaya Bello.
It's a common thing for a legislator to pick up issues with an executive member. And we have seen that in Kogi State quite a number of times when this new governor came in that time. And unfortunately for us, he's supposed to be a young governor and he was supposed to be leading with a difference, but we have not seen that. And so when Dino speaks at the floor of the Senate, he speaks issues and people hear. He doesn't speak politics, he speaks issues. even if his private life is political. But when he speaks at the floor of the Senate, he speaks issues. Dino was the first to say, the senators are collecting too much, we should cut it down. Let's have the masses in mind. Dino was the first to say, if you speak to the truth, you die. If you lie, you die. So I'd rather speak the truth and die. And he has said so many things like that at the floor of the Nigerian Senate. And that led to him speaking against the governor of his state. Because things cannot be going wrong in your state and then you keep quiet about it. If you claim you are a senator, even though you are at the federal level, but you can intervene in states as a senator. So he has spoken very much about Yahya Bello and against what Yahya Bello is doing in Kogi State, especially since the time he received bailout funds to pay salaries and he refused to. And he became the, famous governor who could not pay salaries for long. And Dino has been speaking against it. I remember there was a time when Dino Melaye knelt down at the floor of the Senate and begged senators to help contribute money so that he would pay salaries in Kogi State because people are dying, like he said. So those kinds of things cannot just, go by without a repercussion or without a consequence, without a cause. So we've seen the reaction from Yahya Bello. First of all, he called together people from Kogi West, that's Dino Melaye's senatorial district, to recall him. All right? Now, we all know that the recall process is expensive. That's one flaw of democracy. The recall process is expensive. So
how do you mean it's expensive?
What I mean by
because
expensive is that, first of all, you have to
don't
call...
know these processes.
Yes. You have to call INEC. You have to write letters to INEC. You want to recall your senator representative. And so INEC has to prepare to have a register where everybody will come and vote him out again. So we saw how that monies were spent in mobilizing people to come to recall Dino Melaye, because behind closed doors, the governor has sworn that he will remove him from power and deal with him. So he has said it like that. So that's how we get to know that there's a little rift between the two of them. And so this is just a development of that same rift. Now, it's possible that his life is under threat.
Whose life now?
Dino Melaye.
Okay.
There's a reason why he jumped out of that vehicle. Most likely because he
jumped out because
yes.
Most people are actually putting up defense that they can't believe that Dino could just jump out. Some people are saying, that's why I used allegedly. Some people are saying it's possible he was pushed down and all that.
And remember, it was said that the people that arrested him and they were to convey him to Kogi State are members of the special anti-robbery squad of the police. Now, those people are vicious. And I want to say it out on public TV that their activities are illegal. These people have killed and maimed a lot of human beings in Nigeria without trial, without any sentence from any court. And, it's easy for anything to happen if you are in SARS custody. It's very easy for so many things to go wrong. So I guess the senator sensed danger and decided to, that he wasn't going to Kogi State.
Okay, now,
and if he enters the domain of Yahya Bello, anything can happen to him.
All right. Now, beyond what we are saying now, let's go back to when Dino was declared wanted by the Nigerian police. Now, whatever rifts that has been happening between Yahya Bello and Dino Melaye, should it have gotten this worse? Like, it's not looking like a personal rift. It's no longer the normal political rift. Now, the first thing that happened was that I think some persons under the police custody, they broke out and left and all that, and then we heard they were rearrested at the same time, and then there was this confessional statement allegedly gotten from them saying that they were sponsored by Dino Melaye.
Yes, certain hoodlums that were sponsored.
Yes,
and let me tell you something. We live in Nigeria. This is a theater. So many things can happen in this country. I can bring some hoodlums and pay them money and tell them to claim that you sent them to kill me.
Sure, we know,
right?
we know
so
such things.
That is possible, and I'm not dispelling the fact that Dino himself is a thug, and it's possible that he has hoodlums. It's very possible, and it could be part of his methods too, right? Because most of the people in this country, this is what is protecting them, having a gang around you who always protect you, like the gangs that came in to steal the maize for. So the issue is that the whole story is not looking real. You said 2 Hilux vans stopped you from transporting Dino to Kogi State. Okay. That looks like an attack. Did you fire? Was there any rifle?
Was there any shot?
You can't shoot your friends if you pay them to do that. Do you understand? Because if they were really serious about, I don't think that the Nigerian police is prepared. If they can tell us confidently in broad daylight they could not transport someone who is arrested and is in their custody, that a few people in 2 Hilux vans could stop them from transporting Dino Melaye to Kogi State, and the Dino jumped out of the vehicle, and then the hoodlums carried him and put him in their vehicle and disappeared to an unknown location until later they now found him in the hospital here. It is funny. The story does not just hold water. I don't understand how that, how many people were, and this is SARS we're talking about, how many people were in the police vehicle with Dino Melaye that he could run out? Was he in handcuffs or not? How could you say that, okay, somebody who is as weak and untrained as Dino can escape from you people, and then it's because he has hoodlums?
No, the first question I actually want to ask on that is, was it sitting at the back of the vehicle? Like, was it an open vehicle?
I don't understand it myself.
Now, how would he have escaped? I know when you arrest someone, of course, some people are supposed to sit in there with him. How did he open the door? How did he outsmart every other person in there? Was it a van, like he was seated at the back, that he was able to jump out very easily? Now, these are things or issues that call for critical analysis. And of course, like you said, this is Nigeria. But when we keep seeing these dramas, coming out, especially for our lawmakers that we are actually supposed to look up to, it becomes worrisome.
Exceptionally worrisome. Exceptionally, because you see, the people that should be at that Senate are people of proven character, people who respect themselves, people who have the dignity and the integrity to know maturity, right? But then look at what's happening at the Senate, and children at home are watching, young politicians like us are watching.
Yeah, good morning. Sorry, we have the first caller. Good morning, your name and where you're calling from? Hello? We lost that call. Okay, the number is still on the screen, so you can actually call, give your contribution or questions for clarifications. Okay, okay. Now,
so I would like to add before we move forward that since the IG of police is involved, we all know that there is a caucus in the Senate that has risen themselves against certain ills in society, and I see this former police officer who is now a senator from Bauchi State, Senator Misa also, who has spoken so vehemently against the activities of the IG of police. And funny enough, there was no cogent rebuff of the points he raised. And people like Dino Melaye were people who were standing behind such people. And, there were so many things Dino himself has said that, it's more or less like you have, stepped on a scorpion. So, so many of the things you see are actually recalcitrations of things that he has said or the causes that he's fighting for. And I think Yaibelo and the IG of police are in tandem with what's going on. If not, remember when he said some fierce-looking police people have come to his house? The first thing that happened was
he actually posted some videos online. I think day before yesterday.
The first thing that happened was that they retrieved his police security. So they retrieved his police security. Now, why would you retrieve a sitting senator's police security when he's not indicted? There's no proof.
Yeah, good morning. Sorry, let's pick this call. Good morning.
Good morning, madam.
Okay, your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Yusuf. I'm calling from Taraba State.
Okay. Can we have your input, like your questions or contribution?
Hello?
Can we have your input there, your questions or your contribution? Alright, we lost another call. We'll go for a short break now. When we get back, we'll set it right so we can actually receive and attend to your calls. Please stay with us.
Welcome to National Discourse. Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation building.
Administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in Hausa yang nakama. They are like agberu in the markets.
Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has another tone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history.
It's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background. And today we are here in TSTV. And that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.
Welcome to National Discourse. Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation building.
Administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in Hausa yang nakama. They are like agberu in the markets.
Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has another tone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history.
It's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background. And today we are here in TSTV. And that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.
Alright, welcome back.
Welcome to National Discourse. Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation building.
Administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, There are people they call them in Hausa young nakama. They are like agberu in the markets.
Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has an undertone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history.
It's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background. And today we are here in TSTV. And that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse. Weekdays on NCTV.
All right, welcome from that short break again. Sorry for that technical fault. Moving on, sir, we are still looking at the reasons why these things happen beyond what we know. Now, let's remember again that the first time he was invited down to Kogi State, and he, as a Nigerian citizen that has his right, objected to it and told him to summon him anywhere else he would go, but not Kogi State. So we are trying to look at beyond the reasons we know, what is actually happening. And now, that was done, and then the next thing is he being arrested by the Nigerian immigration. We didn't hear it was police that arrested him. The first time he was released, then there was a rearrest, the one that now led to this. So the question is, why are you taking him to Kogi State? Like, why taking him to Kogi State?
Okay, I think the case was opened in a court in Kogi State. And I think there's this, you're the barrister here, so you should tell us more, that there are certain crimes. If a crime is committed in Plateau State, then the case has to be in Plateau State.
I'm saying it because I know so many people out there don't really have a background to this, and of course, and they're watching.
So they are saying that they found certain hoodlums with unlawful rifles, and both of them said, you know, it was from Dino Melaye that he gave them those rifles and 430,000 naira to, you know, for thuggery activities, to stop whatever for the 2019 election. So now Dino has since denied all that, but you know the case is on. The case is taken to court and all that. So he was called. He was summoned rather to appear before a court in Kogi State, which he declined, and he insisted that the case be moved to Abuja. Now, I don't know his reasons, but I sense that he's scared for a few things about his life being in Kogi State. Like I earlier said, we're talking about Kogi State, right? No offense, but I mean, the kind of things we hear, so many things can happen. And then, you see, I think if there's a special person involved, like a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, this is a member of the upper legislative chamber. We're talking about the highest legislative body in this country. If at all this nation has any iota of respect for its National Assembly, then I don't think anybody should be treated like that, right?
Like treated like that, like being taken against his wish to Kogi State?
First of all, the police declared somebody who is always appearing in the National Assembly.
He's always available.
Wanted, always available. They know where his house is in Maitama. They know where to find him. And they have since refused to arrest him, and he has police in his security detail. So what are we saying? Now, to me, all this is like a game. It's like drama. There's something cooked up, and there's something that they are trying to achieve. And it's not so clear to the public anyway, but I think it is not unconnected to the fact that the general elections are close by, and these are strong people who have so much audience. And when you look at the entirety of the National Assembly, how many people have actually effectively spoken in the National Assembly? How many people? In this 8th Assembly, how many people, aside Dino Melaye, who else has spoken vehemently against against what this government is doing. Ben Bruce speaks more about systems, speaks more about orders, speaks more about methods, and speaks more about how much we have left the right path as a nation, but doesn't so much as point a finger in all his submissions. And that's intelligent, right? But people like Dino Melaye speaks with passion against what is going on in Nigeria, against government policy, against the direction of government. Now, you can't pick up a fight with the federal government of Nigeria and expect them to just sit down and watch. That's just it.
Now, the question for consideration before we go for this another short break now is this a distraction to our focus? Because while this was going on, allegedly Fulani herdsmen went to Benue State and killed 2 priests and 14 persons.
So you see,
do you understand?
It's
so
like using one stone to kill 2 birds.
That's what I'm asking. Is it a distraction method or methodology for us here? Because this is happening. This is just one Nigerian citizen. We are the police and everybody is busy looking for him or looking for how to get him, and the Fulani herdsmen had their way again in Benue State, going to kill 2 priests and 14 persons, and this took place in a church. That will talk about when we go for a break and come back. Please stay with us. Welcome to National Discourse. Fuel scarcity has been a problem in Nigeria from time immemorial.
Current affairs.
We have to fix our refineries.
Politics. It's interactive.
You can imagine if states, the federal government and state government, say, okay, all the vehicles we're going to use all should come from Innocent or any other local manufacturer of automobiles in Nigeria.
If a woman cannot build the family or her family, how can she build a nation? So it starts with the family.
Well, if you talk of employment, unemployment in Nigeria is one of the indicators of socio-economic problems that we're having in the country. Let me just say it from 1960 to date.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.
Don't move.
Oh, sadly, that was our Senator Dino Melaye of the event that took place yesterday, and it's like we're talking about so many people coming up to say they don't think he actually jumped. Some said they think he was pushed, and some people say look at his body, there was no bruises, no physical injury sustained. So how truth at the things we are looking at here? But that was Senator Dino Melaye being rolled, into a hospital. We are yet to have a feedback on that. Now you can call us now. We can pick your calls now. There's our numbers rolling on the screen. 081-188-95779. You can call and ask your questions or give your input. You'll be welcomed. So straight on, sir. We're looking at justification why he was taken to Kogi State. Like I said, it's not everybody that have an in-depth knowledge of what is happening. All right? But we have a call. Hello?
Hello. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Your name and where you are calling from?
Please, Mr. Fandi Ojo from Puntua, Katsina State.
All right, please. Can you just tune down the volume of your TV set?
Hello, this is Mr. Fandi Ojo from.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, so what's your question or contribution?
Please, the saga that is going on between the Dino Melaye and the police is very sad.
Okay.
And it is raising things for this country.
Especially at this time.
Yes, victim tomorrow. In fact, I'm very sad and very even ashamed of myself as a Nigerian.
So
people are in power today and they are making use of this power as they are not going to leave that place.
Okay.
Tomorrow may be their own turn. Please, we should stop all this stupidity.
All right.
For the sake of our youth generation, please.
That's a wise one.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling. You heard what he said. He's talking about for posterity's sake. And of course, you know, so many people believe in posterity. All right? Yeah. He's talking about posterity. It's not good for our children. It's not good for the youth that are coming up. It's not good for the future generation. Like, how will our polity look like tomorrow? Now, before you even go to what it looks like tomorrow, look at the international community. What are they thinking about us from the mess theft and to this now? You're talking about Nigerian legislators. Sorry, we have another call. Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Alex. I'm calling from.
Please, can you speak up? I can barely hear you.
Yeah, I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right.
Yeah, I think the issue here is that I feel no one should attack any sentiment here.
Sorry, you said someone should do what?
We don't have that sentiment.
Okay.
You know, Melaye is from Kogi State.
Okay.
And the jurisdiction where the crime was committed is Kogi State.
Okay.
Let's ask ourselves a question. If a common man is involved, police by now is do the same thing. Is it because of the senator? Is it everywhere? Somebody is the senator, son, is his lawyer. A secondary is there to. So why is it that he's afraid to mobilize two bombs to stop Nigerian police and taking him to Kogi where he is a senator? Look, if a common man is doing this kind of a thing, is it because we don't want to do a protest? If he has nothing, he has a token. The only people that tracking, according to what is this, I don't have it back, but the tracking took about 100 man to defend, go to a city. Somebody can afford less than 5 man. Even as he's heading to Kogi, he will tell them this is not so good. His mobile phone was not his, but he was busy. So we should attack the same person here. What somebody is trying to gather a lot of attention for Nigeria was trying to attack sentiment. If you commit a crime, face the law because if the former do the same, the same thing will do. I think we should move sentiment out of it.
All right, thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you very much. And I hope Port Harcourt is in a good shape this morning.
I just want to respond to this last caller. It's quite unfortunate that we still think that we can trust the Nigerian judicial system. That people think that everything can be read in black and white. There's so much to this than people know. And all this case that Dino is called to Kogi for, ask yourself, why are they so serious about him going to Kogi State? And the man has never denied, I can go. But the problem is, I don't trust. See, let me ask you a question. We have a Dasuki issue in Nigeria, and this thing started like 3 years ago. Has he been tried? Has he been found wanting? But where is he now? Still in detention.
So what are we talking about? I mean, do you think it's that easy that it's black and white? He can go to court and then, in fact, the evidence that you would see this very ugly Nigerian state create for your case, it will shock you because it will look real.
Oh, is really not patriotic enough to call your state ugly. I understand.
No, but we have very ugly. We have very ugly situations going on in Nigeria from the Nigerian government, whether you like it or not. This is a police state. This is a Gestapo nation. Fela said it before. They threw his mother from a 3-story building, and they burned his house down, and they did all they could to stop him. So if you criticize the government, they come after you. That is just what is going on. Anybody that stands strongly to tell the truth, to criticize a government, the government tries to run you down.
Now,
that's what is going on right now.
Away from that, from the last caller, he said, why is he scared of going to Kogi State to face his trial?
Because
and then I actually want to pick his word. He said, if it were to be a common man, probably nobody would have heard anything. So why are we having why did we
see, I said it earlier on. I said, do you know how many people died under SARS custody without any judgment or trial from any court?
Oh, we've lost the call.
Do you have any idea how many people died in this country? I was supposed to do a documentary for Amnesty International, and the documentary was about SARS and human rights abuse in Nigeria.
Okay.
And because of that work and all the documents I was able to put out and everything, I went through a lot of trauma myself, because I got information about a lot of people who were under SARS custody, right? They were tortured. People who, you know, are innocent.
Sorry, can we have this call? Hello, good morning to you.
Hi.
Your name and where you're calling from, please.
I'm Gabriel, calling from Melaye.
Elorin, okay. How is Elorin today?
That is good.
All right. Please, your contribution or your question, please, quickly.
Yeah, I just want to contribute to Dino Melaye's Saga.
Okay.
I want to say that what is happening to him is good for him.
Okay.
Because if you recall, the last election they held in Kogi State, Faleke by now is supposed to be the governor. But Dino Melaye was among those people that brought Dino in. And even I remember when he was I think the MC of that program that day.
Okay.
He was just saying that those who that don't want Bello, that the Holy Ghost fire, you fire them, this and that. He was a strong supporter of Bello. So what is happening to him now is very good. It's very good for him. It's like he's reaping maybe what he has sown. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's just like the case of things fall apart, or things are falling apart and the center can no longer hold. From what he's saying, he was a very huge supporter of Yahya Bello. So whatever thing that have happened between them.
It has happened so many times where people supported people because they believed in the good that they thought they could see from those people.
Okay. Sorry.
It has happened everywhere. You can pick your call.
Okay. Hello, good morning. Yes, can you turn down the volume of your TV set if you are close to TV?
Okay. My name is Peter. I'm coming from Kogi State.
Sorry?
My name is Peter.
Peter from... We've lost that call. Wasn't very clear.
Now, Julius Malema was one of the key people who brought Jacob Zuma to power. The same Julius Malema was very instrumental to Jacob Zuma's resignation. He gave Jacob Zuma hell from the parliament till the day he resigned. Now, why are we having that?
Hello, sorry. Hello, good morning.
My name is Michael. I'm calling you from Delta State.
You're calling from Delta State and your name is?
Michael.
Okay. Can you quickly make your contribution or your question, please?
Yes, I would like, there was a caller, what used to know him is, why me? What is going to go or whatever, we say, why me? And I think it is this young man in House of Assembly, also, he has that at the Facebook and the YouTube. more than thought shared thereabout.
I'm sorry, I'm actually struggling to hear you. Can you speak up?
What I'm saying is that this man also has issues while he was in National House of Assembly.
Okay.
And also right now he's a senator. Why, I think when my children watch that action of this man right there in YouTube, they ask me, Daddy, what is going on with this man? Why must it be?
So right now, oh, we've lost that call. I want to ask him a question like, is he now saying, or is he trying to imply that he's at least an attention seeker? Because that has been some people's submission, like he just wants to seek attention.
Who?
You know, to Dino, to the detriment of his life or his health. All right. Thank you very much for that call there. But you heard what he said. Why must it be Dino every time? Why every controversial thing is being attached to Dino?
We're talking about.
Why must it be him?
We're talking about a watchdog for the executive. We're talking about somebody who has sworn an oath to fight for justice. Somebody who has sworn an oath to be on the side of the masses. Okay. Somebody who has sworn an oath.
Sorry, we have another call to pick. Please, you can actually turn down the volume of your radio set while you call us. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from, please?
I'm Madam Kemi calling from Lagos.
You're calling from Lagos, okay? Can we have your contribution?
Yeah, talking about the issue between Dino and Nigeria police. I can say that it's a national embarrassment to the Nigeria police.
To the Nigerian police?
Because why I said that is because how will a senator on seat be treated like a common mass?
Okay.
Or should I say common masses? So, you know, I begin to think about why I didn't supposed to call Dino to the court in Abuja. Is it a must that he must take to Kogi State? Yes. I just feel that it's a state of power, you know, against Dino Melaye. And the Nigeria police have gathered themselves together because it's not saying good about Nigerians. Because I wonder what people out there will think about Nigeria. A lot has been happening since last week till this week, and it's not appropriate at all.
Okay.
So I think the Nigerian government needs to look into this matter because it's a national embarrassment. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Sir, can you quickly react to this? She's saying it's an embarrassment. Oh, thank you. Thanks.
Seriously, we have seen more embarrassing situations in this country. But quickly, honestly speaking, we would not really understand what it means for Dino to be in Kogi State for that trial. We don't know what was planned for him, and we certainly do not know why he refused to go there. Now, I don't support treating certain people special, like she was trying to say he's a senator of the Federal Republic, right? I think everybody should stand equal before the law, and whatever you treat a full, respectful citizen of Nigeria, that is how you should treat him too. So,
okay, sorry, can we take this? Hello? Oh, we lost that call.
So, I'm not asking for a special treatment for anybody, but what we're trying to say is this. The case in question, this man has spoken openly about it several times. The people that are saying there should be a proof. If these are my people, there should be a call from my phone to their phone. There should be a transfer of funds. There should be a point where we have met. There are certain things that they don't have any proof anywhere.
Are you saying there was no thorough investigation done on this? Or you're saying it was just mere allegations all through?
You see, the point I'm trying to make is that at the end of the day, it will just be a detention.
Okay.
It will just be a detention.
Like the case of Dasuki?
Arrest, exactly. And this would be to shut him down till the elections. Because he posed a great threat to the APC's presidential elections and senatorial elections and the APC's gubernatorial elections in Kogi State.
I think we actually need to remind people what party Dino Melaye belongs to, like the party he's actually operating under their umbrella.
And you heard the one caller talking about him supporting Yaya Bello. And I want to respond to that too. Honestly, at the end of the day, when you look at what Dino Melaye was fighting for that time, was what was rightful. Do you understand? Because Yaya Bello was the deputy to the candidate that supposedly won the election. So in that situation, if you have to choose who you think should take over, you should choose somebody who is in the winning party, not because there's an opposition and okay, because he also got some votes. I'm talking about Faleke and the rest of that. So at the end of the day, those issues, even though I don't want to dabble into them, should not be our focus as Nigerians. We should look at the state of the Nigerian judicial system. We should look at the Nigerian police and their methods. We should look at how citizens are treated like animals in Nigeria.
It doesn't matter whether a senator or a common man.
It doesn't matter whether a senator or a common man. Then we should also look at the fact that this case is not a case at all. It's not a case at all. Because we're talking about a person who has security, police security with guns. So what are you talking about him giving some hoodlums? Let them come and prove it.
All right, this is actually where we're going to draw the curtain on National Discourse today. We continue this topic tomorrow. We'll have some other people come to the studio to give us analysis of this topic. So we employ you to follow us on our social media handles, to have your contributions against tomorrow. And for the calls we are unable to pick today, we'll do that tomorrow. We'll start picking calls on time to have your voices heard. Thank you very much, sir, for coming on the show today.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. For Nigerian citizens, it doesn't matter where you're calling from. This is actually a wake-up call for all of us. Regardless of your condition or your status in life, the law must take its full course. But looking at it from the other side, how is the law taking its full course? Is a food for thought and a word for consideration for all of us. Till we come back tomorrow to continue with this, please stay with us.
Welcome to National Discourse.
Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation building.
Administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in Hausa young nakama. They are like agberu in the markets.
Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has an undertone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history.
It's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria. Okay. And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When the Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background. And today we are here in TSTV. And that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse, weekdays on NCTV.